What's up, YouTube? Ryan Panny here. Hope you guys are doing reasonably well. I swear to God, you fucking blink and the year is like a third of the way over already. It's truly remarkable. I can't say I've exactly been blown away by the quality of music that we've gotten so far in 2021. The quantity is definitely there, although I feel like that's just a function of like, you know, as fans, we feel like the pool of music gets bigger and bigger each year because we are constantly adding new artists and new genres to our field of vision, so to speak. So it might feel that way, although it's probably about the same as it was last year. But I will say, this song list that I ended up with here for quarter one of 2021, it's a shit ton of familiar faces. So clearly, I'm not nearly as open-minded as I thought I was. But yeah, same routine here as always. It's my top 15 favorite songs of the quarter, no metal. This is where we talk about all the other music. Spotify playlist that corresponds to this is down in the description here. Quarter one, 2021 is now in the books. It feels crazy to say. Speaking of books, for taxes, if you pay your taxes quarterly, they did extend that till I think mid-May because of COVID. So if you're behind on your taxes, take that fucking free loan for a couple weeks and just wait. Plenty of time to catch up on your taxes, just like there's plenty of time to catch up on all the great music you might have missed. Hopefully this video helps you with the latter. I can't do much for you about the former. Yeah, first things first, I gotta give a little bit of love to A Day to Remember with the song Looks Like Hell. It's funny, sometimes there are these albums where I'll give it a negative review score, but I'll somehow still walk away feeling overall warm towards it. Like the majority of the songs aren't good, so you have to dock the corresponding points to accurately reflect your feeling about the whole body of work, but there's still that handful of tracks that you love so much that you're still constantly returning to, and it's an interesting situation. It's something that I found myself in yet again with this A Day to Remember record, You're Welcome. But Looks Like Hell in particular is unlike anything in the A Day to Remember catalog to date. It's got this somewhat eerie minor key piano line that runs through the whole song that sounds like, I think I said in the review, it sounds like a cross between Angel Dust era Faith No More and Meteora era Linkin Park. It's moody, it's dramatic, but then the band do a fantastic job of building a song around it by throwing in these somewhat dissonant electric guitars that match the melody and then allowing mostly the drums to control the ups and downs and the mood swings of the track. And you know, if you hate A Day to Remember or you just think they're whatever, you have a judgment about them, this song has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of their sound. It really is a standalone in their catalog. So even if you hate this band, you should probably give this song a listen just out of curiosity. The Hayley Williams song Good Grief is a song that takes a lovable Charlie Brown-ism and flips it on its head rather cleverly. And just makes it really fucking sad. This is a really grim but intelligently written breakup song where the Paramore frontwoman is leaning into her singer-songwriter shtick quite a bit. It's really just her voice and a very softly strummed acoustic guitar. Then you have a little bit of piano and studio ambiance thrown on top. But it's a great listen for a quiet, melancholy mood. For the alt-rock world, I really dug the Inhaler song Cheer Up Baby. This is a band that I had no prior connection with whatsoever, never heard of them. Getting into this song was as simple as waking up one morning, feeling really fucking lazy, and going to the playlists in Apple Music, which is something that I never do because I know how fucking horrible they are for metal, which is something that I know very well. So why the hell would I trust these curators with any of the other genres? But I did that one morning. I was particularly drawn to this song. It's awesome. It's got a real infectious hook. It's got a tasteful two-guitar arrangement throughout the song. And I'm excited to get into this band's debut, which isn't even out yet. I think it drops mid-July. It's called It Won't Always Be Like This, so if you like this song like I do, be sure to check that out in July when it drops. For electronic music, I really abuse the hell out of this Kashmir record. It's called Harmonica Romeda. The material on here really runs the gamut from like, you know, there's this David Guetta style basic bitch EDM anthem called I Will Be a Lion, if you can't tell enough from the title what that's like. But then you also have like the borderline plunderphonics of the title cut on here. And then you have my favorite song on here, which is The Little Voice. I really love the worldly sampling on this track. It's got a real euphoric pulse to it. If you can't take corny though, beware, because this song sounds like the end of a fucking Pixar film. But I love it. I found myself coming back to it a lot, and I recommend it to you. Then Lana Del Rey, we have to talk about the Chemtrails title track. What a absolutely commanding melody this song has. And it's a melody that introduces itself in like the first 2 seconds of the song, but then it just holds so tight and just effortlessly carries you through the entirety of the track. And on here, production-wise, I love hearing that little bit of fuzz here and there, and I love hearing the drum kit being panned softly left and right, just to make sure that the drums don't overshadow or add too much of a groove to a song that's otherwise meant to feel like you're floating. Mannequin Pussy, who were, speaking of alternative rock, who were one of the albums of the year I think it was 2 years ago when they put out what was the fucking album with Drunk 2 on it? Patience, I think. Patience was one of my albums of the year that year. They just returned with a new track titled Control, dropped about a month ago with the video and everything. Love this song. I love the wall of crunchy guitars on here. I love, of course, Marissa's unique vocal style. She just oozes that mid-90s alt-rock detachment. And pitch-wise, she's like almost intentionally imperfect to where you have to like sit up and listen. Morgan Wade, the song Northern Air off her debut Reckless. She is a country artist that I've gotten into this year. I guess country needed a new Morgan. Because that other Morgan hasn't had a great 2021, to say the least. It's funny because I don't listen to enough country, so I end up really fucking bandwagoning hard. Much like with metal, country has a similar phenomenon going where that more mainstream music writer crowd just picks like one or two artists each year to prop up as sort of the exception to the rule. And it's Sturgill Simpson one year, it's Devin Dawson the next, and Morgan Wade's kind of on that path. She's had a pretty high profile album come out, which I've really been enjoying and might even end up on my mid-year list. But those artists that everybody props up, because I follow country on kind of a casual basis, these are all the artists that I end up getting into too, so I'm just as guilty as everybody else. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, a lot of the times, the artists being propped up are very talented and very culturally relevant. I just happen to have this sort of radical empathy for any hardcore fan base that feels like there's tokenism going on with their music. It's just, and that their music is otherwise not being taken seriously. But either way, I absolutely love Morgan's voice. She's unbelievably talented. This song in particular has a really beautiful mix too. It's got this light snare drum that just hangs in the background and just softly pushes your truck down the dirt road, so to speak. It's got this simple but effective twanging guitar solo. It's got a very light, I believe, string section hanging there in the mix as well. Just in general, it has a lot of atmosphere, and it's a beautiful song about longing. Nothing Nowhere, of course, the unique emo rapper. And when I say emo rapper, I don't mean like a rapper that's sad. I mean literally an artist who combines mid-aughts emo music with hip-hop, whether the production-wise or obviously he raps a lot. And there's a song on his new record called Fake Friend that I've just been loving. It's fucking sick. I love it in general though that the pop punk and the emo thing is coming back. Even if I don't like what people like Machine Gun Kelly are doing, it's kind of cool to hear it. While this album still does have a lot of those regressive, kind of immature lyrics that I'm not exactly crazy about, the growth in Nothing Nowhere Sound on this record, and especially showcasing a song like Fake Friend, is in the instrumental side of what he's doing. The clean guitars on this song sound fucking unbelievable and are played with some real articulation, not just kind of that droning, like you learn a few notes and you just kind of pluck away. It really feels like it's played with feeling. The bass isn't overwhelming, obviously a common trapping of hip-hop, pun intended. The drums and the additional guitars here are nicely mixed, and the real highlight of the song, where everything just explodes and comes together, is the instrumental bridge section towards the end. Truly love it. I actually listen to this song particularly for that sometimes. The Peachtree Rascals track, Pockets, also comes highly recommended by yours truly. It's a song that is centered on an incredibly overused, folky acoustic guitar progression, but Joseph Veros' vocal performance here is just entrancing. He has this wonderfully soft and delicate touch that he approaches these melodies with that really successfully masks the sadness of what the song is actually about, which is self-medication. Also a cool little clean guitar solo on this track. Royal Blood's Typhoon's title track. Best thing I've heard all year, hands down, for straight up rock and roll, which is a genre whose decline in the modern age is quite well documented. But the fuzzy guitars on here, the super catchy pre-chorus, Mike Kerr's energetic performance in general. This is a band that I haven't actually been a fan of previously, but now I cannot wait to check out the album of the same name, Typhoons, which as of shooting this is dropping in like a few days. Sparks by the UK trio The Staves off of their new record Good Woman. The absolutely gorgeous vocal harmonies on this track alone are enough to reel you in. My goodness, I love the longing, melancholic atmosphere that these three are able to create, like seemingly by themselves. There's no need here for any gaudy, string arrangements to come in or just general studio embellishments to make you really feel deeply and profoundly. And the lyrics are incredibly heartbreaking, but I actually still find this to be a relaxing and serene listen. Next order of business here. Why did everyone hate this Weezer album so much? Like, I get it. Blue Album and Pinkerton aren't going anywhere, sure. But I for one, really enjoyed the whole no guitars gimmick on OK Human. And a track like Grapes of Wrath is where the band really benefit. It's a classic Weezer melody and Weezer bounce being supplied here by Rivers Cuomo and company. But when you listen to the track over and over again, you realize that like I couldn't picture it with guitars. The strings really do provide their own crunch and their own little call and response thing. I'm not joking. This is one of my favorite Weezer tracks from like the last several records, like all the way back to maybe Girl We Got a Good Thing off the White Album. Weezer's an easy band to hate on. I remember when people hated them just because that guy from Lost was on the cover. You know what I mean? You, Me at 6, the track Make Me Feel Alive. One word, all caps. This is a song that gave me this joyous burst of Hot Topic core that I just could not get enough of. And to be fair, I'm not terribly familiar with this group, so I'm not sure how this track would stack up against the catalog, but all I know is that the like edgy white guy sort of half rapping over like a minor key guitar riff and some super loud, heavily edited percussion, all I know is that is perfect. It's exactly what I need in my life. It's such a high energy, high octane, mallcore kind of thing. And I did enjoy several tracks from this album, which is called Suck a Punch. Again, one word, all caps. Need Someone by Zara Larsson was by far my favorite mainstream pop song of this quarter. It's got this amazing bass line, which I feel like rather blatantly is lifted straight off of current era Tame Impala. But I love it anyway. Piano line on here is really catchy, and the song just has a really sweet sentiment that runs through it. It's a sentiment that, in this case, is being applied to romance, but really could be applied to any facet of life. This idea that once you reach this certain degree of balance and inner peace, anything that you desire or that you pursue, you're actually doing because you want it, not because you feel like you need it or because you're overcompensating or because there's some void that you're trying to fill. And dating is one of the best examples of that. You have to become happy and content with yourself and not bogged down by codependency before you can actually seek healthy, functional, win-win situations. And anyone who's ever dated knows that a lot of the best stuff shows up when you're not looking and when you're like just content with the way your life is. All of a sudden someone pops into it and you're there and you're able to receive it. But career-wise, same thing. A lot of times you're gonna make the most money when you're not in it for the money or when you're not desperate for money. So it's a great, strong theme and message that can be applied universally, especially for a pop song like this. And it does happen to be really well performed and well produced, which is always a bonus. And finally, those ultra smooth, clean guitars in the Zayn track Better really mesmerized me. That they go so well with his smooth voice, which basically follows the guitars for the duration of the song. This song is sexy as hell. So there are 15 tracks for you to give a little bit of your valuable time to. I think 15 songs is like an hour, so you can do it. Hopefully there's a few artists here that you've never heard of before that you're now into, or maybe just a song or an album that you missed. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to cranking out a bunch more reviews this quarter. There's a lot of eligible albums coming up, and I just got to find the time and the willpower to do it. So hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more of me this quarter if that's something that you want. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video and are not yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so by clicking right over here, as well as checking out any of the other music-related content that I publish on this channel on a regular basis. I really appreciate you guys watching, liking, disliking, just engaging in any fashion. Twitter, Instagram handle @RyanPannyMusic. Again, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you soon.